Welcome once again to the 18th group exhibit, Hydrogen Fuel Cells at Hanover Fair 2012. I very much look forward to our next topic. It is Power, Heat and Living, an Energy Revolution with Fuel Cells. Please make yourselves comfortable. There's coffee, there's drinks, relax, and feel free to also contribute to the session by asking questions at any time. Just give me a little hand sign. So, it is my great pleasure to welcome on stage now BAXI INNOTECH GmbH. And I'll be speaking to Guido Gummert, who is Managing Director of BAXI INNOTECH. So please join me in welcoming warmly Guido Gummert of BAXI INNOTECH. There you are. Welcome.
Hi,
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
So I want to start with a slight redefinition. Rather than talking about a revolution, we want to, I believe, here use the word energy turn. And within this term, I think that you feel that there is a concept or a topic somewhat missing, namely micro CHP. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. When we talk about the energy turn after Fukushima happened, mostly we discuss power. What can we do to produce power? Renewable, change to wind energy, shut down the nuclear power plants. But nobody is thinking about the potential what we have in the heating market. And with our high efficient technology, we can very good support the energy turn in the cellar. Now, maybe you can ask, with 1 kW electricity and 1.8 kilowatt thermal power, how can you push the energy turn? Very simple. We have 77% of the heating market, which is old technology, not efficient, and in absolute values, these round about 14 million units in cellars, in homes, larger apartment dwellings, and so on. And if you would change only 1/3 of that, that would be enough, together with the potential in the industry, what we could optimize, to reduce the primary energy, to have more primary energy available for other technologies, for example, steam turbines. And parallel, we would renovate 40 million households. And this is a very, very high potential. And therewith, to invest into high-efficient micro-CHP systems with fuel cells is a win-win situation for everybody. For the householder, because he is saving energy cost. For the government, because they can have the energy turnaround. And also for the utilities, because they can sell more gas to the householder. And it's more...
We actually heard it here yesterday. Someone spoke, as you, I believe, are speaking of a revolution in the cellar. And before we talk a little bit more about the details, I want to ask you just another general question, which is, are there actually, in your opinion, any dangers, as well as opportunities, of course, but are there any dangers or things to watch out for within Germany's new energy turn? And if so, what are they?
Yeah. In the past, we have made a lot of things correct. We have invested into funding so that an industry could grow up. And we have, for example, the German Calux program to demonstrate and test fuel cells in single-family homes. This is very, very successful. But we see that we do not have larger volumes. And one of the objectives of this Calux program was to come to economy of scale. And this is something what we still need to focus on, especially because we see that there is a global competitorship with other countries and other industries from other regions. And therefore, we have now to make sure that all the investments which we did in the technology, in the R&D, that this is now taken to the market by these ongoing programs. And therefore, it is important to continue this program and to find a program to support the technology and especially to help the end client to have a possibility to live with the currently higher cost of the units. And we call that technology entry program what we need. And this means that the end client will get a subsidy for investing into high efficient micro CHP technology with fuel cells. And this would be exactly the way helping the energy turnaround to renovate the cellars.
We just heard about the example of Korea and Japan where these initiatives are underway. Can you tell us more precisely what some of the savings in the heating market could be or are already?
Yeah. The fuel cell heating system is more or less a heating unit which you get paid for, because normally when you invest into a heating appliance, in the moment you have installed it, the money is gone. Because we are producing power, you have a return of your investment. Therefore, the system makes money. And if you compare our fuel cell heating system, Gamma 1.0, which we are demonstrating in the Calux program, with a normal condensing boiler, you can have savings between 800 and 1,000 euro per annum. And because we are still in a development process, we expect that we will get, for the future system, more than 1,000 euro savings per annum energy cost. And this is a lot. I don't know any other heating technology with this potential of savings. And also no other heating technology with this efficiency potential. And it is difficult to understand, but you can save with the natural gas-fed fuel cell system more CO2 than you can do it with a condensing boiler combined with solar panels. Because solar heating panels, for example, saves you 6% if you do your hot water with it, 20% if you do hot water and room heating. But if you run a fuel cell heating system, you run it 6,000 hours a year, and therefore you generate the power, and therefore you have these high CO2 savings. And there is no other technology on the market who can compete with that.
Are there questions?
Hello. My name is Alexander Varaknos. I wanted to ask you, does the German state or German utilities pay you for the electricity that you give to the grid if you are grid connected with these fuel cell power generators for the excess electricity that you are producing?
Yeah. Yes, they do. And
how much?
The funding, the current funding is 5.11 cents for the produced energy, also for the energy which you do not feed back into the grid. So all the energy produced by yourself is funded by 5.11 cents, and when you feed it back to the grid, you get another 5 to 6 cents per kilowatt hour. But key for the future is to get to have an economics without funding, that you take care with your control system that you substitute most of your power. And then I pay in Hamburg, for example, 22 cents per kilowatt hour. And if I can substitute 75% of it with my fuel cell heating system, then this is the big benefit of my unit.
Yes, but if you have a fuel system that you have to store the electric energy somehow in order to use it when you need it for peak time. Otherwise, the energy that you will be producing, if you don't connect it to the grid and you don't get paid for it, it will be wasted in a way when you are away and your house consumption during the day is very small.
The system is power controlled, heat covered. Means that the leading value is the power, and because of the characteristic of the fuel cell that you have over a wide range of modulation, a very high efficiency, it makes sense that you run based on your load, on your daily load curve, and based on that you produce electricity when you need it, store the heat, and because of you have the heat storage, you disconnect power and heat consumption. And we do not store power, we store the heat.
One more? Or a little later? Okay. So Let's talk about PEM itself a little bit. Why should we use it as part of our energy futures and our efficiency strategies?
PEM fuel cells are very, very close to the market. And over the last years, we have tested the technology in demonstration projects. And sometimes a lot of people ask, whenever they come to the Hannover Fair, the technology is not ready for the market, it still takes some time. But I'm not developing a computer. With a computer, you accept if this fails. But my wife, for example, would not accept if she has to take a cold shower in the morning. So then I have big problems. Therefore, and you expect that the heating system, what you buy, is able to operate for 15 years. This is the standard which we have in Germany, 15 years. And we have very well-known brands in Germany. Sanatec, Brötche, Die Dietrich, Remea, all these are our brands, and I'm just the R&D center doing the field trials, and when we start marketing the technology, I use these brands, and we have a wide range of portfolio of other technologies, and when I destroy these brands, this is an absolutely no-no. And therefore, we have to ensure that we have tested the technology, that the technology is able to last for 15 years, that we have the service in place, that you are able to get the components after 10 years of operation if something happens. And this is something what takes time, but it ensures that you get a good, reliable technology, and PEM is very good for that. And I see a very high cost reduction potential because I see a lot of synergies with the automotive sector when they are using PEM as well. And this is a big advantage for PEM. Also, if you're looking to the future, when you're producing power with wind turbines, produce hydrogen, PEM can very easily switch from natural gas fed to hydrogen. And then the total system is smaller, and we have another product without doing large R&D investments. Therefore, for today, it's good to use the natural gas infrastructure because it's in place. We do not have to wait for any refilling station or something like that, as in the automotive sector. And in the future, we have this high advantage of using other fuels as well.
Okay. Are there any questions at this point? Maybe a quick note on key components and the role they play in all of this?
Yes. Just to give you a status quo, we are developing currently not anymore on the fuel processor or on the cell stack. Fuel processor and cell stack we see as very reliable. What is the key for the future product is to make sure that also the periphery components in the balance of plant are or show the same reliability as the key component, fuel processor and reformer. And this is why we continue our field trials.
Okay, and we have time for just one last question, which is something close to my own heart. I'd like to finish by discussing very briefly some other prospects in this area, specifically in the area of smart grids and intelligent technologies and the future role you see them play in all of this.
Very important also when you develop a product is that you look to the periphery. Nobody would buy the fuel cell heating system because a fuel cell is inside. We have to make sure that we fit into the total strategy, and that means we need a standard interface to the smart grid so that we can get the data from the smart metering. And it is a standard that you have an app on your iPhone to control your system. And these are topics which we develop parallel to make sure when we are ready and launch the technology that all of these options are available as well to make the fuel cell a successful product in the market.
Good. If there are no last-minute questions from the audience, I'd like to invite you simply to, in one sentence, summarize your key message. What should people go away with here from this session today?
Very important is that we should look to the potential of the heating market, and therefore, the high potential which we have in the cellar, a revolution with heat and power, and we have to live heat and power a little bit more. As you focus on a nice car and a nice home, you have to look that heat and power is something what is also part of your life.
That's very nice. Thank you. This was and is Guido Gummert, Managing Director of BAXI INNOTECH GmbH. I'd like to very much invite you to connect to Mr. Gummert after the session for the rest of Hanover Fair. You can find BAXI INNOTECH at stand E51 in that direction. And I would like to thank you one more time for coming to join us. It's been really great talking to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks. So, and I leave you with the announcement of the next session, about to start in a minute's time. We're going to talk about electric vehicles, advantages of a fuel cell or battery powered compared to a pure battery solution. And we'll be joined by Proton Motor Fuel Cell GmbH. So please stay put.